everyone. So today I have the pleasure of joining me on the channel, Mr. Jay-Michael Stuart. So we're going to get right into it. How are you doing today?
I am fired up and excited, Nicola. Super excited to be on the platform, getting an opportunity to share with you. So I'm fired up and ready to go, ready to talk about one of my favorite subjects in the world.
All right, you see that ring, right? You see that ring you got. All right, let's get into
Yeah, oh, that
that.
wasn't a flex. That wasn't a flex.
Well, before we get started, I want the
Yeah.
people to know, like, who are you? Who is Jay-Michael Stuart? Just tell us a bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah. Absolutely. My background, right now, currently in the industry, I always say I went from the bus to the beach to the bank. When I took a look at what we're doing right now, the project that I'm in, I was working 80 to 120 hours a week as a bus operator for the Transit Authority. I like to say transportation specialist to make it sound sexy. You got to be your own hero, right? That's what I was doing. But prior to that, Nicola, I had a really great career. It wasn't long lived, but it was a great career in the federal government. I didn't go to college when I got out of high school. I went right into the workforce. My dad was working full time. He was retired military. He was at the full time in the government, and so he got me a job downtown on Capitol Hill. I had a great time down there. I was proofreading the Federal Register and the Congressional Record, right? So I thought I was doing something pretty cool, right? That was pretty cool career in the federal government. And then I got bit by the bug early on in my career. The network marketing bug. Someone knocked on my door, and we'll talk about that. But it was a great career in the federal government. I ended up going full time with a network marketing company for a little bit, and then ended up going through a divorce and a whole bunch of stuff. But that led me back to working full time, which is how I ended up at the Transit Authority. And then I got introduced to the company that I'm with right now, and it's been an absolute godsend. So yeah, that's my long story made short. I have to say that I'm a dad of three amazing young men as well, so I can't leave that out. That's a big part of my story. My proudest accomplishment. Yep.
Awesome. I don't want to give your age away. So, but how long have you been in the network marketing industry?
Hey, listen, right? Yeah, look, that's funny.
Baby.
I want to say I've been around the industry, Nicola, for 20 plus years, and I'm only 35. So I got around
You can
when
get
I
in
was
early, people.
right, get in early, right, get in early. Yeah, I got in late. It was 1999, um, early 2000. So we're like right around there is when I got introduced to the
Yeah.
industry and kind of been off and on. I was off and on for quite a few years. Went full time for a little bit. Went full time a little too early, and then kind of was looking for the right company for several years, and found this company. So yeah, that's it's been about 20 years. Yeah, about 20 years.
So how did you initially get involved? Like, how did you initially get introduced to the network marketing industry?
I love this, Nicola. How much time we got? This is my this
Oh,
is
we
my
got time.
favorite
We got time.
story. This is my favorite story. So I was working in the federal government. I told you that, right? When I got out of school, I got married really early. Had my three sons already. We were already doing our thing, and they actually led me to the industry. Here's how: the person that was babysitting our kids, she was in a network marketing company, and she sent her upline to our door. She was really kind of taken with me, my wife at the time, and the kids. She was like, "Oh, this is a really cool couple." So she sent her upline to our door. And Nicola, I'll never forget it. I can remember every single moment of it. The young lady knocked on the door. My wife wasn't home at the time, but when I opened the door, I saw she was dressed to the nines. I mean, she fit the bill, right? She just looked absolutely incredible, super sharp, and she had this Infinity that was sitting behind her on the curb, and it was sparkling, Nicola, like it was glistening, right? I was like, all right, who is this? So just super professional, and she came in, told me, how she got to the door, what have you, and she introduced us to the industry. My wife came home shortly after, and she sat down and explained to us, what was going on. And I'll never forget, she started edifying. She started talking about these gentlemen that I would meet or that I could be introduced to at this meeting. And the way she described it, I was like, you know what? Even if I'm not interested, I got to go and meet these guys, right? That she's talking about. So I get to this meeting. I think it may be in the same week or the week after, and I was done. They had me at hello, right? When I got into the parking lot, it looked like a car show. You know, folks, you could see folks were having success. And when I got into the meeting, Nicola, I saw individuals that looked like me. They came from my area. They grew up like I grew up, but it was just, they looked like what I wanted to be. And I was literally done. I was bit at that point, and it was on after that, right? And the rest is history. Yeah, that's how I got introduced. Yeah.
I love that. I see the vision. I see the whole thing coming to the door. It's kind of like a movie.
Right, exactly. In my head, it still is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
hmm
You've been doing this a while. They've been involved in different companies. What have been
hmm
some successes that you've had in the industry?
Wow. The that's probably another one of my favorite questions now. I guess the biggest thing for me, Nicola, is time freedom. That's been the biggest thing. That's the biggest success that I've had. Being able to be in control of your own time, that's priceless. And that's something that I always wanted. And I knew at 19 years old that I wanted it, right? I knew at 19 years old. Really, really short, quick story. At that same job that I was at in the federal government, I had just got the job. I was in my 90-day probation period. And it was a hurricane that had hit in Florida. And my dad wanted to go, or he was going on this missionary trip to help out with the hurricane. And he was like, man, it would be cool if you could go, but I know you got the job. So I went and asked them, could I go? And they were like, no, 90 days. So this is not, don't try this at home, right? But I left and I went anyway. And I knew in that moment, like I didn't want anybody in control of my own time. That ended up being the most memorable trip that me and my dad ever had, right? And so time freedom for me is the biggest thing. Now we've been able to retire 20 years early from a job where we had when I retired when I left that job a few years ago, I had another 27 years to do. And so, being able to buy back what I call a life sentence, and then not to take away from jobs because jobs feed us, right? We are thankful for them, but I just knew that that wasn't my passion, that wasn't my calling. So the time freedom, the income, Nicola has been incredible. I pinch myself every single day. We're well over six figures on the way to $250,000 at home, and I know it's not a ton of money in the industry, right? It's pretty good, right?
It's nice. It's going to keep growing too.
Exactly. Yeah. So really, really excited about that. And here's another thing. Legacy was something else that I didn't have in place for my children and for the people that I care about. The company that I'm with has a legacy program that we've qualified for. But the biggest thing on top of the time freedom, on top of the legacy, on top of the income is the impact that we've been able to have on other families. Seeing other people or seeing people that you're connected to have their lives changed, man, it's incredible. When I was thinking about talking about this, I was like, wow, we've had some people on the team that have been laid off, and the business sustained them, and now they're rehired and back to six figures on their job, and now their income over here is rivaling their full time. One of the gentlemen that I partner with very early on in the business. He's the first person that I ever partnered with in this company. We friends for 30 years. Nicola, I joke with him all the time. And you know this gentleman. I said, man, he just bought his dream home, right? Two brand new Range Rovers. And I joke all the time. I said, man, do you have an airport like at your house, a heliport? Like it's so much land. So just to see the impact that can happen for folks that are attached to you, that's the biggest success. Yeah.
Lovely. I love to hear it. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we know that oops, my charger in here. We know that, everything's not always going to be, a bed of roses. So what are
Mhm.
some challenges that you've faced in the network marketing industry?
Challenges. Let's start personally. Being scared to death. Let's start there, right? Let's start there. That was the biggest. I won't even say it was biggest. It was one of them though. It was definitely one. Being nervous about talking to people. About what it is that I was doing. I was green when I got started, so I didn't know it was kind of this negative thing out there about the industry. So Nicola, I ran like a kid running into traffic, right? I didn't know I was going to get hit. by a Mack truck. I went to this big old spot. Hey, listen, aren't you excited about it? And they're like, yeah, I can't believe you're doing that. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the negative Ned, negative Nancy thing, understanding that it wasn't widely accepted back then, right? Is different now. Definitely different now, but that thing is kind of still out there. But back then it was crazy. It's like, you're doing one of those things, that's one of those pyramid things or what have you. So that was absolutely a challenge. Getting my mind over that hurdle was a challenge. What else can I think about? Yeah, and just believing that you can do it. Believing in yourself. That's another thing, right? With the job, I just had to get the job, right? That's all I had to do. I just had to go through the interview. I just had the resume, check the boxes, and get the job, right? It wasn't so much about belief, but here belief is a big thing. So that was a challenge. But personal development is one of my favorite things about the business, and that helped with those challenges. So yeah.
And you're right when you say that because it's non-traditional. Is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes because we're so used to working, the 9 to 5 or whatever, hours you worked at your job. We're so used to that life that this
Yeah.
is different. That sometimes
Yeah.
different, scary, especially if you don't understand it. So yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big part of it. The understanding piece. I'm glad you said it because people don't necessarily look at it like a real business, right? They look at it like it's one of those things. And it took me time to really understand for myself how big the industry was. You and I were having a conversation. It's a huge industry, and it's the most powerful model in the world. When you really think about how $1 million, $1 billion brands, how they really truly market, it's referral marketing. That's the most powerful form of marketing. So when you really understand that and that you can play a part in a business like this, then it's crazy, man. You can write your own check with it. So yeah, it's that respect thing. What they say, Nicola, put some respect on my
Put some
name.
respect.
Hey, right.
It's the truth though, because I was
Yeah.
just at an event not too long ago, and
Mhm.
there was a number of businesses there, not network marketing people, but businesses
Mm,
learning what we do because
mhm.
they want to apply it to their business because they understand the value of network marketing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, that's huge. And I'm always blown away by that. I love hearing those conversations because it just strengthens my belief and it will strengthen the belief in a lot of people who have a negative view of it. But when they see that person, and I'm just speaking transparently, when they see that person that they respect in traditional business, right? They see that person and they're like, oh, you're doing it? You see value in it, right? Sometimes it takes that third party or somebody for them to see somebody else and say, okay, maybe this thing is valid, maybe this thing is real. So I love seeing, folks that are really, really killing it on the corporate side in traditional business, and they're saying, you know what, this is a better way. I mean, I love hearing that. Yeah.
We're kind of segue into it a bit, but there are a lot of misconceptions out there. I know for
Yeah.
myself, I thought it was one of them things as well. For like 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
I stood by
Mm-hmm.
and watched, oh my gosh, one of them things. And then when I did get involved, I didn't even realize I was involved in network marketing till, but then once I
Mm-hmm.
understood it, that was a whole different story. So what is
Yeah.
it, one misconception about the industry that you would like to address today?
Yeah, that's gonna be it, Nicola. And there's a couple of other things with it, but the pyramid thing, right? And I know honestly, like in 2024, it's like if you're still saying pyramid, like wow, you know what I mean? Like honestly, right? But and I feel two kind of ways about it. And here's why. One, if you if you know, how can I say this? I don't want to be politically correct, Nicola. But you know what? Ignorant is not a bad word. How about that? I'll say it this way. Ignorant is not a bad word. It's just that you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? And so sometimes people will say pyramid, but it's not a negative connotation. They just don't know what else to call referral marketing, right? And so that's okay. But if you have done a little bit of research or whatever, and you're still calling it that, then that's a challenge. But overall, that's been a misconception that I would love to kind of help change that narrative that this is a a real business. It's a profitable business. On top of that, Nicola, another thing that I think people think about when they think about the industry, and I know you've experienced this, right? Well, I don't want to do sales or what have you. Yes, it's sales, right? If you're going to get down to the nitty gritty, absolutely it is. But at the end of the day, it's not that hardcore sales where people are afraid of, right? I talk about people going into the mall and the people in the kiosk, right? No pun, no shame, right? But the people in the kiosk, you're walking down the mall and you're trying to avoid the people in the kiosk because they're gonna run up on you. This is not that, right? This is not that. This is not the person at the car dealer that says you're ready to walk out. And they're like, no, I'm going to go get this person and sit you. This is not that. And so I think that's a misconception when people take a look at the business. They're like, you know what? I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that girl. And you don't. Our business grassroots is about sharing, really, honestly. That's what it is. And when you find something that you're really, really passionate about, you find a great company that you believe in, leadership that you believe in, right? The message and the mission is something that you believe in, you'll share that naturally, right? And money will come as a result. And so that's the misconception that I want to really kind of help change that narrative that yes, it's sales. At the end of the day, it's about, me providing this and you buying that, right? But at the end of the day, grassroots, it's about sharing something that you're really, really passionate about, that you're excited about, that you believe in, that you got to benefit from. So that's the biggest misconception.
I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, it's been amazing talking to you today. I just have just one more question for you.
Sure.
What would you say has been the most rewarding part of being a professional network marketer?
The most rewarding part. Two things for me, Nicola, and this could change by the day. It changes by the day. The most rewarding part, personal development for me is the most rewarding part. I've always been a confident person to a degree, but I love who I am right now. You know what I mean? I love who I am right now, and that's a result of of developing, the personal development, the books that we've read, the people that we've been around, the seminars that we've been to, the conventions that we've been to, just being able to learn from individuals all over the world, and take some of that stuff and just better yourself. So the way that I think about things, the attitudes, the philosophies, I heard this early on in the industry, and I'll double down on it. I swear to it that you grow to become the person that'll attract the money that you want, right? And so, I've been chasing six figures, quarter of a million for a long time, but I hadn't grown to the person that demanded that type of money, right? And so, personal development is the most rewarding thing. The time freedom that we talked about again, being able to take care of my parents, the financial freedom, right? It's definitely about the money as well. So the financial freedom, Nicola, I promise you, when I think about being free from the job is one thing, but that job would never allow me to take care of multiple households, right? It just wasn't designed to do that. It was designed for me to take care of my household, and never knew that my mom was going to need what she needs, that my sister was going to need what she needs, right? For me to be able to live in multiple states, have multiple residences as a result of the business. So it's just been rewarding. Travel has been incredible. Being able to go and stamp that passport, Nicole. I didn't travel at all. We weren't taking plane trips when I got involved. We were taking car trips. So those are
You're
some of the
making up
things.
for it now.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And then lastly, again, seeing the team being able to do the exact same things. I think I get more of a kick out of watching the team live their best life. I got a message, and I promise I'm gonna shut up, Nicola. I got a message from a young lady the other day on the team, and she was in Antigua, and I was kind of following her on Facebook, and she shot me a text, and she was like, "I can't believe this is my life." And I was
Oh,
like, man, I was done. I was,
I'm about to be done. I don't even know it. I'm about to be done. I'm getting choked up.
and you do. You're out against Kim. But Nicola, right? That just,
Yeah,
that took me out. So that's the most rewarding part. That's the most rewarding part.
I
Yeah.
love it. I'm so
Yeah.
excited be a part of this industry myself because of all the
Mhm.
things that are available to us and that we have access to. So
Yeah.
I'm excited, and I thank you again for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Nicola. I'm excited for you, killing it in the industry. Just a man, just a beam of light. When you walk into a room, you definitely brighten it. And so I'm fired up and excited to be in partnership with you, to be on the platform, to be able to share. And I'm super excited to maybe have you on my platform at some point because I know that seven figures is on the way for you, right? I know it is. I know it is. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. So, how can people get in contact you or follow you? Like, what are social media? Like, what's the best
Yeah.
way for people to get in contact with you?
Yep. You know what? It's my name, Jay-Michael Stuart. I hated it coming up, but that's my thing now, right? So it's just my mom used to call my whole name every single solitary time. Jay
Even
Mike Stuart.
even
Yeah.
when you're behaving or when you misbehave. She said she calls the whole name every time.
Period. Just all the time. Yeah, just all the time. She's in love with it. So I was like, and I hated it coming up, right? And so, but that's how you can get in touch with me, jmichaelstewart.com. Everything's there. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is all right there. jmichaelstewart.com. Yep, that's how you can follow me. Yep.
Well, thanks once again, and let's go make this money.
Absolutely. Let's go get it. Thanks, Nicola. Appreciate it.